Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed episode 9 pushes Paula to the edge of the conspiracy, and I felt the penultimate chapter tighten its grip the moment Rudy turned on that burner phone. After Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed episode 8 left Jerry with clues, Rudy with guilt, and Paula still treated like the inconvenient woman everyone should have believed earlier, episode 9 finally lets the scattered pieces begin to form a recognizable shape. Paula discovers that Trevor and Dennis were not merely running a cruel blackmail scam, while Rudy and Jerry try to repair the damage they caused by doubting her. Jennifer, the fake lawyer who had already entered Paula's life under false pretenses, becomes the immediate physical threat, and the episode ends with a gunshot in the woods. Apple TV's 10-episode dark comedy thriller now heads into its finale with Paula's life, Dennis' employer, and the Souter Group mystery still hanging by a thread. Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed episode 9 begins with Rudy paying the price for curiosity, and in fairness to him, it is the kind of mistake that feels very human. He steals the burner phone because he wants to know what Jerry found, turns it on while he is stoned, and unknowingly gives Dennis' handler the easiest trail possible. For a second, I genuinely thought Rudy might become another casualty, but the attack is more warning than execution. That tells us something important about the people Paula has been dealing with. They are dangerous, but they are also careful. More bodies create questions. Paula, however, has crossed into a different category because she knows too much and keeps asking the right questions that Rudy's injury finally changes his perspective. He realizes Paula has not been spiraling into paranoia. She has been reacting to a criminal network that kept dressing itself up as coincidence. I like this shift because Rudy has spent too much time treating Paula's fear as emotional overflow. Episode 9 forces him to understand that fear can sometimes be the clearest form of intelligence. Rudy goes to Jerry after the attack, even though she has every reason to be angry with him after he broke her iPad in the previous episode. He admits that he stole the burner phone and explains that turning it on led directly to the attack at his apartment. Jerry tells him that she found little on the phone beyond the name of a Yale administrator who denied knowing Dennis. Rudy believes Paula will know how to connect the name to the larger pattern, and he is right. He and Jerry decide to apologize to Paula and update her, which feels overdue but still welcome. The episode also teases one of its trickier emotional questions. Can Jerry really give up on her article? Rudy persuades her to stop pursuing the story, or at least he wants to believe he has. I am less convinced. Jerry has the instincts of someone who sees narrative before comfort. And although she cares about Rudy, the show has already made it clear that ambition can become a private addiction. If she publishes the story without changing its angle, she may hurt Paula and Rudy badly. If she reframes Paula as a courageous woman exposing a network of coercion, then the article could become something more ethical. That tension makes Jerry more interesting. She is not a cartoon opportunist. She is the kind of person who might do the wrong thing for the right byline, which is much closer to real life and far more uncomfortable. Paula's investigation is the strongest part of episode 9 because the show finally lets her professional skill become the engine of the story. The pen drive Ash dropped at the police station gives Paula access to videos of Trevor's clients, all recorded in vulnerable situations. Paula realizes that Trevor likely blackmailed them the same way he tried to blackmail her. What makes the pattern more disturbing is that money was not the main demand. Trevor and Dennis wanted favors. Florian, a food scientist, was pressured into giving up a yeast formulation patent that later benefited a competitor. Another target was forced into support for a chemical plant on wetlands. Someone else granted mining rights in North Dakota. Micah was pushed to get a union behind a candidate in Ohio. That is where episode 9 gets sharper. Trevor seduces, Dennis records, and the unknown employer converts private humiliation into public advantage. Paula understands that the scheme has structure, patience, and clients with very specific interests. When Rudy and Jerry bring her the Yale clue, the case moves again. The trio confront Joyce, the Yale administrator, who initially refuses to help. Rudy, tired of being dismissed, uses intimidation rather than politeness and jumps into the pool with her until she reveals that Dennis forced her to admit Blake Vanderwall into Yale. That name becomes the missing tile in Paula's floor. Back home, Paula identifies Blake as the child of William and Cecilia Vanderwall, owners of the Souter Group, a risk analysis and advisory company. She then discovers that Northeastern Food Group, the company that profited from Florian's yeast patent, is one of Souter's clients. That connection strongly suggests that Dennis and Trevor were tools for the Vanderwalls or for a team operating under their corporate umbrella. I do not think episode 9 wants us to believe every answer is complete yet. William and Cecilia may not be personally managing each dirty job. More likely, the Souter Group has people who specialize in turning blackmail into business outcomes. Still, Paula has found the door. Detective Gonzalez's subplot matters because Paula cannot survive the finale on instinct alone. After Paula tells Gonzalez about the fake lawyer, Gonzalez actually checks the prison records and realizes Paula was telling the truth. 2 Rebecca Hallidays visited Paula on the same day, and the first one was an imposter. That discovery matters for 2 reasons. First, it confirms that Paula was manipulated while in custody. Second, it gives law enforcement a concrete thread that does not rely on Paula's personal credibility. Gonzalez then examines surveillance footage, identifies the fake lawyer's red Prius, and learns the car was stolen. When Detective Baxter receives information that the red Prius has passed through Easy Pass, he follows it. That choice brings him to the woods near the leadership retreat, where Jennifer is stalking Paula. I appreciated Gonzalez's turn here, because Dolly de Leon gives the character a dry intelligence that never feels showy. Gonzalez does not need a big speech to become useful. She just starts doing the work that should have been done earlier. Jennifer's brutal act Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed Season 1 Episode 9 ending begins when Paula rushes toward the leadership retreat at Bedford Hills Golf Club. She has found the Souter Group connection and knows the retreat is happening that same afternoon, which leaves her only a narrow window to act. Since she does not have proper identification, she tries to approach the club through the woods. Jennifer follows her with a gun. This is the same woman who posed as Paula's lawyer in prison and attacked Rudy to retrieve the burner phone. By this point, Jennifer's purpose is clear. She is not merely cleaning up loose ends. She is there to stop Paula from reaching the people behind the operation. Before Jennifer can shoot, Baxter arrives and orders her to drop the weapon. Then the episode cuts to a gunshot without showing who fired. That ambiguity is the finale hook, and it leaves 3 credible possibilities. The first possibility is that Jennifer shot Paula, either because she decided to complete the job before being arrested, or because panic made her pull the trigger. I do not believe this is the most likely outcome, mainly because killing Paula 1 episode before the finale would undercut the show's central emotional engine. The second possibility is that Baxter shot Jennifer after she refused to lower her gun. This feels plausible because he had already followed the stolen Prius, and had reason to see her as an immediate threat. The third possibility is the nastiest one. Jennifer shot Baxter and escaped, leaving Paula still in danger. That would give the finale a more desperate chase structure, especially now that Gonzalez knows enough to keep digging. My best reading is that Paula is alive. The show has spent 9 episodes building her from frightened target into reluctant investigator, and she is now closer than ever to exposing the Souter Group's machinery. The more interesting finale is Paula surviving long enough to turn all those little humiliations, threats, and clues into one public reckoning. Who do you think fired the gun? Jennifer, Baxter, or someone else from the Souter Group's orbit? Drop your theory in the comments below, and follow Fandom Wire for more updates.